Are we live?
Are we already live?
It's not showing up.
I'm gonna grab the camera and then I'm gonna grab one of these just as a little demo.
What's up, guys? Can you guys hear me? Connor is here as well.
What's up, boys and girls?
We didn't do
All
a
12%
thumbnail. We should have made a thumbnail. We didn't do that.
Just do a screenshot.
I was gonna flip it off, but I think that would get us banned.
Oh, look, we got Theo in the background being an absolute psycho. Hey, don't chew that.
Can you put your camera up? Let me take a screenshot.
Oop, can't do that.
There it is. I remember we're not. Wait.
Wait, and
Hold, guys. Going closer.
well, as close as I can. Keep the light.
Go a little bit closer. All right, there. Okay, let's do a screenshot. There we go. All right. 1 second, guys. We're almost. I forgot to go pee.
Well, I guess
we're live now.
I
so-
guess it'll put good pressure on the live.
Yeah. Ah, god dang it.
Your photo's too big, dude. What are you gonna do? Look at me death staring the camera in that photo.
Connor, entertain them. How much did LUMIX pay you?
Hey guys, so I don't know if you saw in my video, but I think it was like 4 or 5 bands for.
Bands.
Yeah,
Bands. Oh, not even
bands.
money. Bands.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it's pretty cool. Actually, that was straight from Cam. So Cam, of course, took 15% off the top.
Oh, yeah. That was
That's how it
25.
works. 20. I know you reread the contract. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Ori really cooked for me.
No wonder people hate us. Well,
I hate you.
yeah.
They're starting to hate me.
Yeah.
I'm catching
By
strays,
proxy.
dude.
You deserve it.
I do. Am I entertaining you guys? I can't see the chat, so I don't even know what you're saying.
There we go. Okay. All right, last thing I need to set up for you guys. Thumbnail of you holding a ton of money.
We can't find the money bag. Where did
Yeah, I
it
really don't know where it went. I think Jericho stole it.
go? Oh, okay.
Get shareable of you on YouTube.
I try not to give you guys the sound of me drinking water in the mic.
Let's
bad.
see. Can you guys hear us all fine? Publish.
Just
there we
showing
go.
with my homies. Oh yeah.
So now comments are coming up. Cool. We're rocking and rolling now. Let's, don't think we need that up.
We're still out of focus.
Get my comments. Oh yeah.
Is the
All right.
LiDAR not set up?
No. The LiDAR, guys, yesterday I went live with Brandon Washington and I was using the LiDAR. But for 2 people, sometimes it gets shifted up unless you can man the thing.
It was pretty in focus to me.
But Connor, intro them. I'm going to get my prescription so I can actually see.
Yes, my dog is a little crazy. You're not chewing that, are you? Don't chew on cables, dog. Then we'll actually have hold on, sorry guys. We'll actually have a problem. Okay. How we doing, everybody? Let's see what people are saying. Yeah, what's up, Armando? Thanks for joining, dude. We still need to hang out. We were back from Norway.
We're gonna go shooting.
Hung out. Yeah, we talked about going shooting, so we actually need to go do that.
If you click add to broadcast, it will
Oh, interesting.
it'll show it to everybody.
Cool.
So do Jericho's. Jericho, you're welcome to come hang out, buddy.
Let's do this.
If you want to come over.
This is the only way I get paid.
Oh yeah. Still's the bag. So you guys can see we're on the Blackmagic Pixis with the Blazar Kato 55mm, and we just have the DJI focus motor on there. And yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lights up.
Yep, 6
So-
if you count the sun.
Yep. But sweet, let's see who's all here real quick before we get into things. Guys, start giving us questions about the new S1R II. We'll answer everything. LUMIX is not paying us.
I wish they did.
Yeah,
I've asked.
In 5 minutes, they start
they
paying
said
us
no.
now. In 5 minutes, the pay starts. So if you want honest answers, you got to do it now.
Yeah.
Because in 5 minutes, we'll only be lying and shilling. So, what's up, Brody? J Dog's in the house. River Shepherd. What's up, buddy? Surprised you don't have a thumbnail. What's up, Phil?
Cool. Are these your regular homies in the chat?
Yeah, a lot of familiar faces in here.
Perfect.
I see a lot of these guys between YouTube comments, threads, IG, on lives. So this is what's sick. This is how we can connect with the homies who, you know, like-minded people.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to start doing some lives. So watching you guys talk on Brandon's live stream, and now we're doing one this morning. It's fun. I used to do them forever ago. If you guys even remember the name David Mays, one of the best, one of the best YouTubers from back in the day. We did live streams all the time. They were fun.
Emerson, I miss you, buddy. We'll come visit. Emerson's the guy that was going to meet up with us in Arizona.
Yeah.
But then we were out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep. Whoopsie. Sorry.
Bands and make her dance. You guys got to see Connor twerk.
Whatever, dude.
What's up, guys? Most casual camera user opting for social media future-friendly cameras. I think that's you.
That might be me.
Let's see. Livestream is not AK unwatchable. Yep, there's a lot of rolling shutter on this camera, guys. So, you know, this live stream is just garbage now. So, horrible rolling shutter numbers.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy, we're bummed we missed you. We'll be back out there super soon. Super soon.
Leo, come here.
Foxtail Whips, what's up, Brody? Guys, if you don't know who this is, he builds really cool cameras and recovers them and stuff.
Wait, what's up, dog?
Okay, let's get into these questions here. First question from Mr. Brody. Does it shoot B-roll ProRes internal?
Does not shoot B-RAW, but it does shoot ProRes internal. It does ProRes RAW, which unfortunately DaVinci doesn't support at all. So in fact, I kind of forgot that. So I shot a bunch of ProRes and then I can't even use it. ProRes RAW, but it does shoot ProRes internal. I never shoot in ProRes because the files are huge, but if you need it, it's definitely there.
I think,
You okay?
how did I spill coffee? Everywhere. I think they said in a future firmware, we're going to get B-roll external. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Keep going through these questions. I need to clean all this coffee up on me.
Guys, we're really doing good.
I was like, did I
What's
pee
up,
myself?
Thomas? Foxtail. Let's see what else we got. Camera systems. It's the Lord of the Rings guy again. Nice to see you. Lord of the Rings guy. You saying I look like a Lord of the Rings guy or Cam? Cam kind of looks like Legolas. The dynamic range charts look not so good, but the results seem to speak for themselves. Yeah, I think it's interesting that like some of the numbers don't really make sense for the image that we're actually getting out of this camera, right, Cam?
Yeah, I think the big thing is as I was showcasing on my channel, is the color fidelity. So even if you don't have great dynamic range, or if you don't have great speed on the readout, the fact that it still is holding so much color information, it can, you know, it's not just about dynamic range and sensor readout, guys. There's a lot more to all this stuff. Like Kodaks, if they were to give us like a 422 and open gate,
Oh my gosh.
it'd be pretty epic, I think.
We talked to some of the Lumix guys about that. They gave us an answer as to why it's not happening with it. It had to do with H.265, I think, for why they couldn't give us 422 10-bit in open gate. To me, it didn't make any sense, and it maybe sounded like a cop-out answer, but I would love to see 422. But the 420 actually it does look good. So Logan said he loved seeing you in Uncensored yesterday. That actually was, if you guys were in the comments on that, it was getting crazy wild. There's a lot of Lumix hate out there. Have you guys tested, there we go. Have you guys tested the highlight recovery? I am terrible, so I need all the safeguards I can get.
It's no Pixis. I got coffee all over me, guys. It's no Blackmagic Pixis. When you do that highlight recovery trick, I still don't have a full, my mind's not fully wrapped around how they're doing that. But if you expose correctly, you're just fine. There were some clips from when we were filming, the highlights were blown out.
Yeah.
You know, when you blow out highlights on any digital camera, you can't recover those.
Yeah.
But
again, what's cool about this camera is they did give you some safeguards, so you do have false color now, and it does seem to work pretty dang good. So I have mine programmed on the front here, so all I do is press this button here and it go right into false color. That's been super clutch. So, and then also you do have the dynamic range extension mode as well, which we talked a lot about. It does seem to actually work, which is great, but you do increase the rolling shutter, and you know how we feel about rolling shutter here. So.
Yep. Also, guys, sorry, I just turned up the volume.
Were you a little quiet?
Yeah, we were. Let me refresh this real quick and see. Okay, Armando's thumbnail or things on there. Oh, back to live mode. Sorry, you guys weren't seeing the comments pop up. Should work now. Yep, there we go. Okay. This is a funny question. What's it like working with beautiful models all the time? It's like nothing. After a couple years doing fashion photography, you realize they're just human beings. And the more you just treat them as human beings, the further you will go in your career. If you are drooling over them, just like, oh my God, boobs and blah, 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 you're not going to go far. You're going to be known as a freaking creep. So
yeah.
I don't look at them like that. Like, oh, I get to work with models. It's just some of them are annoying. Some of them are fun. Some of them are cool. Some of them I want to get away from as quick as possible. They're normal human beings. Thank you, Trent. Also, hope you're doing well, buddy. We turned it up for you. Let us know if this is doing better now. If the only camera that existed were the Pixis and S1R II, what'd you take? S1R II.
Oh, easily. But
Yeah.
it's just for me, it depends on what you're doing. For me, portability is everything. So I need this camera to fit in a backpack. So the Pixis it's kind of clunky comparatively. But if I was doing a lot of, commercial work or whatever, it's doing car commercials, whatever, something along those lines, a lot of sit-down interviews, documentaries, there's an argument to be made for the Pixis. But for me, form factor is everything. I want a hybrid camera also that can take photos, which the Pixis can't do that. And when you pair this with these like 1.8 primes, these lenses, we should make a video about them.
Yeah, because they're low-key really good.
They're way better than they deserve
Good
to be.
in terms of the look they get.
Yeah.
Not in terms of like corner to edge sharpness and all that shit. It's like they're just, they look great.
Especially
for
this
what
one.
they are.
This is my favorite one, the 35.
Yeah, the 18, 35, the 50 has some charm, and the 85.
Yeah.
I dropped mine in sand, and I dusted it off, and the coating got scratched immediately.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that goes into quality or if that would have happened to any lens. I don't know.
I messed up my 85, so maybe they're not as durable, but the actual lens quality is, for how I like it, it's great.
Hey, Kofi with the 15 cents in Canadian dollars. Paying the boys because Lumix did it.
So how did the tariffs affect this?
Yeah, so do we charge you or you pay extra? I don't know how that works. I guess I gotta sneeze. Sorry, y'all. We lost.
If you guys have a question, just to make this easier, could you put like Q period and then whatever your question is? It makes it easier to find. I mean, we'll still try to find it otherwise, but if you have a specific question, anything you really want to know. One of the things about this camera, in my opinion, and I think Cam would agree, and a lot of the creators, especially Kofi, because his video is, 44 minutes long. This camera, there's a lot to cover on this camera. It's too much to cover on this camera. So we all did our best, but honestly, if you want the full picture, you kind of have to watch a bunch of videos. Yep,
which is the whole point of all of us doing videos, guys. So everybody can get different perspectives. So that's personally why I ditched all the details, because I was like, well, I just want to push this camera and see what it can do.
Yeah.
So there's no right or wrong way of making a video.
Nope.
It's everybody can learn something from somebody. Do you think it's worth switching camera bodies?
If you're
talking,
talking,
you said camera systems.
Yeah. Okay. You see who he is. Depends. So I'm going to reference this to something else. So when I talk to Armando, he always asks me, should I switch to DaVinci Resolve over Premiere Pro? It's like, well, do I think DaVinci Resolve is better? Yes. But should you switch? That's a harder question.
You should.
Yeah. Well, so I always, another example would be Final Cut, because that's probably more comparable since you pay one time for that. And it's like, if you're getting everything you need out of your system, it's not hindering you in any specific way, then why bother switching? But if you're looking for something that this is providing, for me, it's definitely the open gate and some of the anamorphic stuff. Now that I hang out with Cam, it's really tainted me on the whole anamorphic thing. So for me, it would be worth switching to this over Canon R6, Sony A7R V, working on something with that right now. That's my perspective. So it depends on what you're switching from, what it is that's hindering you, if anything at all.
I would say if you need an open gate, it's worth switching.
Yeah.
I would say if you shoot anamorphic, it's worth switching. Other than that, I don't know. If you are in Sony or Canon or whatever system and you're getting annoyed with certain things, maybe you don't have shutter angle, maybe you don't have waveforms, maybe you don't have false color. And those are all things where like this would literally make my life easier. Because the past 5 jobs I did, like this was an issue, then obviously it's worth switching.
So to keep talking about that, I switched from the Canon R6 Mark II to the Sony A7R V a year and a half ago, give or take. And the reason I did that is because at the time, Canon just wouldn't give us C-Log 2. It was always C-Log 3, and I hated C-Log 3. And that was always the issue. And I knew that Sony gave us S-Log 3 throughout like their whole line.
Yeah, even like their $600 cameras.
Yeah, and so for me, I was like, you know what, this has annoyed me for a long time now. I had the R5, the original R5, and then the R6, and then the R6 II. And for me, it's like, finally, I was like, you know what, I'm switching. So if that's the pain you're feeling, and it's something specific to this camera, then the answer is yes.
Yeah, and you guys have seen how much I've switched. On YouTube, you guys partially saw my career grow, because whatever I shared, as every year, I kept getting more and more clients, bigger clients. So you guys got to see that process of me run through gear and trying to figure out what was best for me. I would say a couple years back, if this camera existed, this would have been the camera for me. As I was getting into video more and getting more jobs off of that, this and the Pixis would have been fantastic together. So, but you know, now I'm doing more YouTube stuff. I'm still taking jobs. I keep saying, oh, I'm going to say no to jobs, but I've been saying yes to a lot of jobs lately. And then,
I think it's good to take jobs, personally.
Yeah, you see how stressed I am. And then all that.
But the reason why is because I don't, at least for me personally, I don't want to ever fall into the you're just a YouTuber category, which is super annoying. So it's like, and also, in all fairness, it's like by practicing the craft of actually doing jobs of any capacity, it doesn't have to be anything great. Sometimes I just work for him. It does, you know, keep us more honest. So we're not just reviewing cameras from the perspective of this helps me make YouTube video about camera.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh no, this actually is useful in a world abroad just making YouTube videos.
Yeah. I mean, I think I already covered those bases though, honestly.
Yeah. I see a friendly face walking up.
Oh. Jericho heard he come over and he came right over.
He just ran over.
The one big question, let me get the door for Jericho here.
I got it.
The one big question is, how many troubles do you have with the rolling shutter and the slow sensor? So, when it comes to the rolling shutter, oops, we just lost the light. What light did we just lose? Did we lose a light? I'm not sure. Jericho's here and the dog's going crazy because they love him.
Is LUMIX paying us per minute or?
Per second, actually. Yeah, we get $500 per second from LUMIX to talk about their camera more.
Yep, it's pretty awesome.
J-Dog, if you want to pull up a stool or maybe the thing. The rolling shutter. So the S5 2X in my Kato launch video, that was the first time where I was like, there's a lot of rolling shutter in this. But that's 2X anamorphic. On 2X, you're also stretching the rolling shutter effects. So you're going to see it more then. The IBIS is even better on this new camera. And so I was shocked not to see too much rolling shutter from everything we've done so far. I was expecting to see more.
Yeah, so when we were chit-chatting again with the LUMIX team and they were telling us the numbers for everything, it did sound like the rolling shutter. This is why you have to test cameras, because it did sound like the rolling shutter was going to be pretty bad.
Oh, we lost this light.
Oh, it's our little underlight. But in use, which is the most important part of a camera, it's really not so bad. Now, you know, you can, it's IBIS, so like you're still going to get some jello, and there is still rolling shutter. We're not saying that there's not rolling shutter, but what we are saying is that it's completely manageable and better than it would lead you to believe.
Yeah, so this is the hard part with, for Gerald's video, I don't see anything wrong with this video. It was all pretty accurate. He did say that the rolling shutter numbers were too high for it being a modern camera, something like that. Which, you know, there's truth to that. But on the other side of it, when you actually use it, it's a different story. So as you guys saw in my video, there's a lot of action stuff in there. I didn't see any rolling shutter. Again, I was shocked to not even see it.
Yep.
But same thing, the DJI Ronin 4D8K, that has really bad rolling shutter. But again, I haven't really experienced it when it was horrible. We've done crazy roller shots and stuff.
The RD is, or what's it called again?
DJI Ronin 4D.
4D,
8K.
rather. It's like a super stabilized camera, so of course that's going to help mitigate that issue.
Yeah, so I definitely think the IBIS is definitely helping to control a lot of it.
Now, if you want to see some shakes and rolling shutter, go watch my video because I was on a boat and I did not have my sea legs, so you can see it.
Go ahead and answer that. I'm going to set up another light so we can light up Jericho.
For sure. How does the autofocus performance compare to previous models? Okay, so when we first got the camera, really bad. It was surprisingly bad compared to my LUMIX S9 and the S5 IIX, which honestly, I think the S9 for some reason is particularly good in LUMIX's line. However, you know, and we talk about this, we're using sample cameras. What's up, Jericho? And the thing about sample cameras is that, you know, we're essentially beta testing these things. And so we discovered the autofocus issue. We had a whole group chat where we were absolutely roasting LUMIX, and we're like, hey, like this is unacceptable and all that stuff. And sure enough, they pushed out, they pushed out an update within. This is a really professional live stream, guys.
Still looks really nice.
It does look nice.
Was I there?
Like
It was like you're barely in.
a little bit longer than you'd want. Anyways, the long story short, they've updated it. It now seems much more reliable. The autofocus seems really sticky now, which is important. I'm gonna be doing some tests comparing it to my Sony A7R V, which is probably the gold standard for autofocus. I did one test so far and they seemed comparable, but that was just face tracking.
I'll go pee. Keep going through it.
This is I like that this is on your channel and I'm talking 10 times more than you. Jericho, why don't you answer a question?
Sure.
Did you use it?
I have used it. I've done a photo shoot with it.
Okay, yeah, talk about it from a photographer's perspective, because I haven't shot too many photos. Cam, I don't think has shot any photos barely.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with this camera for photography?
Cam says something, and it's unfortunately very true, is photography cameras are really boring because they're all good now. This, I think, is unique because it's good as a photo camera and all those video features it also has. Because like even the R5 is, the A7R5 is like a good video camera.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have all these features, like all the open gate and all that crap, right?
No, it doesn't.
So it's kind of unique in the way that it's like, yeah, it's a solid photo camera. I could get it as just a photo camera, but also it has like this vast array of video features that like I could eventually use.
What's the photo camera of choice right now for you?
For me, it's the Nikon ZF.
Okay.
It's like the perfect photo camera if it had more megapixels, because 24 is just like too low for me. But other than that, I love it. I love the body. I love the feel. I love that people think I'm shooting film. It's like one of my favorite things.
This is, no joke, my also favorite photo camera.
It's so good.
Right now.
It's so good.
It's just too good. Guys, I mean, we're all about, okay, well, whatever, Cam. Yes, here's my dumb, normal one, and then here's Mackie's broken one. We all have ZFs. Maybe
that's how Cam's like everything looks.
Yeah.
Just looks like he.
I do want to sand
took
down.
some
So the
paint to
knobs
it.
on these, we're talking about the Nikon ZF now. The knobs on these cameras are brass, so you can see on Cam's camera that he sanded them down. It looks really great. I don't know if it'll look good on the solid black camera or not, but I'm going to try to probably sand these down eventually. I just haven't done it.
I love the ZF. Exactly what Jericho was saying. I really do wish there was a high megapixel version of it.
If there was.
Rolling shutter, would love to know your real. Okay, here we go. We kind of talked about this, but we can talk about it again. Also, we're out of focus again.
Sorry, what were we doing? Wait, hang on. Yes, we're filming on the Blazar Kato 55 on the Blackmagic Pixis. So you guys could see me focus racking there. That's us. That's J-Dog. That's the background. Anyways, so The more spec-based videos talked a lot about the readout speeds, rolling shutter. Would love to know your real world. Yeah, I mean, we kind of just went over it, but yeah, in real world usage, so far, I have not seen much rolling shutter, which is confusing. The only time I've seen it is when I had the IBIS set to 2x and I had a 1.5x anamorphic on it. There was weird stuff going on there, but I don't know if that was rolling shutter or IBIS issues. I don't know.
For sure, I've seen it in the high dynamic range mode or whatever it's called. I don't know why I can't remember the name of that. When you turn that on,
Yeah.
you will see rolling shutter. I would recommend using that mode for sticks mostly. Or you could get away with it kind of handheld because the IBIS is good. But if you're doing any sort of like moving around and tracking and panning, that's where you're going to see the rolling shutter.
Yeah, that's something I've been forgetting to say. In standard mode, haven't experienced much rolling shutter. In the high dynamic range mode, yes, you will see the rolling shutter way more.
Yeah.
But the only time I use high dynamic range mode is exactly what Connor was saying. When we're just doing like locked off type shots, just like simple handheld stuff. If you're doing action stuff, don't use the high dynamic range mode. Like it's that simple.
Yeah.
Did we use that when we were in Joshua Tree shooting the... Did we use high dynamic range mode in Joshua Tree when we were shooting that video that I'm editing?
We use standard for all the action stuff. We went into high dynamic range mode when we went inside Tractor Supply Co. to film.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the X2D.
Ooh, I don't recall.
Okay.
I think it was for some of it, and it wasn't for other of it.
Because I don't recall shooting videos for Cam, just regular YouTube videos, feels like shooting action. Just because he's all over the place. But I don't remember if it was standard or high dynamic range mode. But I never noticed any like rolling shutter. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, unless you're genuinely shooting action. Like actual action,
Sports.
and it feels the same as like most of the other like cameras I've used for BTS or for YouTube. It's like, yeah, it doesn't feel like tight, like perfect, like a global shutter, and that's what I would use if I was shooting action.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Right tool for the right job. Also, I highly recommend this camera is really customizable. For me, I got rid of my AF back button because I personally don't do back button focus. And I know. And I made that my quick switch between the different dynamic range modes, which I think having quick access to that is what makes it useful because you can switch on the fly. Just know that if you do mess with the high dynamic range mode, it is messing with your base ISOs. Something to keep in mind. The base ISOs on this camera are, I shouldn't do that because I'm just going to keep covering Jericho's face.
There's 4 base ISOs.
Yeah, there's four base ISOs depending on the mode that you're shooting in. Which is really confusing. I'm glad we all asked that question because I would have just assumed the base was going to be the same as the previous cameras, which we all would have shot wildly wrong.
Yeah, the bases are 200 and 1000 and standard, 400 and 2000 and the high dynamic range mode.
Which is really low.
Yeah, super low.
But in practice, it seems fine. And also, when we were shooting in higher ISOs, it did seem pretty clean.
Yeah, what's homeboy's name? Division? The German guy?
Oh, Tom?
Media Division.
Are we talking about
Not Tom. No.
Tom. The other German guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Media Division. He showcased in his video low light, and I think the magic trick is again, the color fidelity, the way it holds color saturation, even when you're pushing the ISOs. So again, everybody's so focused on dynamic range or readout speeds that they forget about the actual color and what the camera can process.
I don't think that this is a spec camera would be the way I would put it. It's like, and I'm actually going to be giving you guys access to some files on my channel. So if you want to see that, I'm working on the video. Hopefully I'll have it done later. Today maybe, but probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that way you guys can actually download and play with the footage yourself. Because I think that's what's going to set this camera apart. It's like, sure, the numbers and the specs and whatever, but once you actually utilize and color the footage, that's when you're going to see why we're all talking so strangely, if you want to call it, about this camera. That's what we're praising.
Yeah. Again, the big thing, well, real quick too, what Jericho was talking about, we filmed a video, we used some gimbal, but mostly handheld with this new camera. And when we film, I'm just like walking around and I start yelling at Jared. I'm like, hey, are you recording? Click record. And so, you know, there's a lot to, it's basically just handheld run and gun vlogging, I guess we'll call it. And so we didn't see any IBIS in that. And I'm pretty sure we were in the high dynamic range mode for most of it, I think. Because I remember switching to it in the beginning, unless we turned it off for some point. But
I don't think we turned it off.
so Jericho's also working on a stills video on this camera. So
Which will be really cool because I don't think people really focused on stills much on this camera.
yes.
Because it's boring.
Yeah.
Well, we're used to
But it's
Lumix.
useful.
We're used to Lumix having great video centered cameras, but this is the first time where it's actually a good stills camera now too.
Well, I don't know if it's the first time. Some people would get mad at you for that statement, but I would agree with it.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the first one that had enough for me in stills where I was like, oh, I mean, I could fully switch to this if I needed to. So it's interesting for me to try it. You know what I mean?
Did you mess with the LUT stuff for photography?
I had not.
Okay.
The only camera system that I've enjoyed the LUTs thoroughly on is the Fuji stuff.
Yeah, the Fujifilm Sims. Yeah.
I've played with the Nikon one a lot, and I haven't liked it. I know Cam loves it, but yeah, it was to the point where I was like, I can't try this yet because I was only using it for a day. So
That's fair.
yeah.
Yeah, the LUT stuff's great. I think the hard part is, you know, a lot of people struggle with color grading, and I think it's not a technical issue. I think a lot of people's issue is they don't know what look they want.
Yeah.
And so if you go in
problem.
blind and you don't have any idea what you want it to actually look like, you're gonna think you don't. You're gonna think you don't know what you're doing. In reality, you probably know more than you think you do, but it's more so you didn't do the homework of figuring out the look that you like. And so it's gonna be the same thing for these LUTs. But you know, Lumix does have an app where you could download other people's LUTs. So if you just find one that you like, you could easily just utilize that. So
True.
who would you recommend this camera to? Hybrid shooters?
Yeah,
I don't know.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Basically, all the normal people. If you're doing commercial stuff again, probably not the best choice, but it would still work.
Hayden asked, for solo productions, interviews, and corporate work, would you go FX3, S1R II, or S5 II? So I actually got rid of my FX3 last month, but I hooked up my buddy. You guys will see him on the channel hopefully soon in the future. John, amazing freaking photographer.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Amazing. And I've been pushing him to get more into video and on YouTube. So I sold him my FX3 for dirt cheap. I bought the FX3 with my own money. It wasn't given to me. And a bunch of stuff to go with it. He basically has a cinema setup now. I'm telling you guys, for dirt cheap. I don't even want to say the number.
I am pissed, dude.
Sorry.
He deserves it though.
Well, yeah, Jericho does deserve it. So the FX3 for me was like my commercial work camera. Because the readout speed, you know, you're not going to have any issues with it at all. But as I started to use the Sony a7C II, Nikon Z8, Nikon Z6 III, all of them have a more punchy image. When it comes to commercial work, that's kind of what they're into. They either want like a super clean, saturated, punchy look, or they want an organic iPhone type look. So, you know, the FX3 does have a softness to it, which I love for more creative type stuff. So, I don't know. For me, this camera has way more tools for anybody who's actually booking stuff and you need, you know, a pretty good system. Waveforms, false color, all the IBIS options, even outside of just anamorphic,
And if
the
you're-
open gate, like it goes on and on. Like operating this as an actual true hybrid system, this is the best system out there for that.
Also, if you're doing any sort of adapting with lenses, as we're using PL to anamorphic, but even if you're using, you know, circular cine lenses, I think that
Spherical,
whatever, and yeah. But I think it's like, yeah, he's right. This has more tools. The biggest weak point between this and the FX3 is going to be autofocus for sure. So if you want if you need a super consistent, always perfect, great tracking, autofocus. The FX3 is just going to be a better option. It just is.
Yeah.
The autofocus in this is perfectly fine, especially for the kind of stuff that we're doing. But I think that would be the only reason why I wouldn't pick this one.
Personally, I never had an issue with the autofocus on the Lumix system.
I really haven't either, but
even on jobs.
I do feel like we make that that distinction because I do think the FX3 autofocus is better, specifically also when you're tracking non-humans.
Yeah, Sony's is. So I would say for face detection, they're all close to even these days. But when it comes to object tracking, Sony freaking wins hands down.
Yeah.
Like you could track any object, and it's just Canon's pretty good at it too.
Yeah.
But Canon, we don't talk about Canon here. Did they fix the latency issue with the external monitors? S5 II has really bad latency with external monitors, which is yeah. So for focus pullers, that is an issue. But for everybody else that complains about it and they're just shooting mom and pop stuff on external monitors, it doesn't matter. But I do believe the readout speed is better now. Sadly, it still does not de-stretch through HDMI though, which is annoying because there's a lot of times when we're trying to, I would stream with this camera more if it would de-stretch through HDMI. That's why we're using the Pixis, because it does all that through the SDI.
I will say I'm very sensitive to any delay through a monitor, and when I was shooting with HDMI on a monitor, I get pissed off on any camera. And the minimum delay is what I shoot for. I'll take less resolution or whatever. So it was a little annoying.
Yeah, but that also comes into your monitor that you're using too. If you're using cheaper monitors, those tend to be slower. So would you stick with 4K 422 versus 6K 420? The 6K, it's like the open gate. I would stick with the open gate. So even if it's 420, I don't give a shit. The color fidelity on the sensor, the color fidelity on the sensors organically better as it is. So to me, it doesn't make a big difference. There has been times where, I was like, I wish I was using a red on this shot because I need more color fidelity out of it. But yeah, I don't know. What is the highest 120 quality from the S1R II? I don't think it does 8K 120. I think it's 4K 120, right?
Yeah, it's 4K. I
4K.
don't have a mic.
it's like a 1.1 crop 4K, I believe.
Something like that. Yeah, it's pixel bin, so it's not downsampled.
You lose phase detect though.
Oh,
That's actually I didn't mention it because I actually didn't realize that.
wait, face or phase?
Phase.
Ooh, okay.
I think it goes to contrast. Actually, don't take my 100% word for this on this live, but I'm actually pretty sure that's true. Go watch other people's videos that are smarter than me.
Here, I'll swap it back.
Let me see.
just was
Master
grabbing the
camera
camera.
said, obviously the rolling shutter is crazy bad on this stream. But anyway, how's HDMI? I know, guys. Look at that rolling shutter. Oh my
Yeah.
god, unusable. I would never use this in a Hollywood film.
No.
Never.
I'm checking.
3300. Yeah, it's 32.99. So yeah, 3300. My mom used to drive me crazy because I'd be like, I'd say it's 3300. She goes, no, it's 32.99.
Oh yeah, I hate that. I
Yeah.
hate when people
Yeah, I hate my mom too. I'm just kidding, guys. I never seen so much good hair in one video. Kofi, I don't think you've ever seen so much hair. Oh wait, hang on. Oh.
Fuck, killing the mood. God. Kofi's never met me. So.
Jericho's bouncing it out.
I'm gonna answer that last question more specifically. So
Wait, which question?
the
Wanna show you?
120, you can do Cinema 4K, 420, 300 megabits per second, and 120.
You want to show him that?
Yeah. Oh.
Look at that.
Get closer.
I heard that
There you
the
go.
detail and noise gets significantly worse, but
I don't think
Oh,
that's
really?
I don't think that's quite in focus. But there we go. So there you go. So that's what we're working with in 120. I don't use 120 almost ever.
Yeah.
In fact, I like all my B-roll to be almost all in real time
I'm
or
a real
in
filmmaker.
30. I do like 30 for B-roll because it looks almost real, but it had a little bit of something. Whatever, dude.
30?
Leave me alone.
Disgusting.
Try
24.
it. Try it. It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
24 all day, guys. How's the battery compared? I have no idea.
It's the same battery. It probably draws a little more power for the sensor.
It lasts a long time.
For stills.
For stills,
Yeah.
it was I had one battery like 75% charged, and it went down. For stills, I had like one battery at 75%, and then it went down to, I think it went down to like 50 by the end of the day, and I was shooting for like 3 hours, so it's pretty good.
Guys, I'm a child. Just got the S5 IIX 2 weeks ago as a hybrid shooter, does 60% video and 40% video. Is it worth returning and getting the S1R II, or should I just use my save and get some? That's a really good question.
What was the price on the S5 IIX?
It's actually really affordable right now. I think it's been on sale for under $2K, like $1,700 or so.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the probably the biggest distinguisher.
I would say if you use 60 FPS a lot, worth the upgrade. Because it's now downsampled in the full frame into that 60. So if you use that a lot, I think it's worth it. If you don't, I think the S5 IIX is just fine, honestly. It's still such a great camera. And
I shoot a lot on my S9 still, honestly.
oh, yeah. So we both use our S9s like
all the
crazy.
time.
So it's funny because people, again, thought, oh, those guys are never going to touch it. No. I don't touch it for stills, but I have several Leicas. I have Hasselblads. I have better stills cameras. So I don't touch it for stills.
Whatever, dude.
But sorry, I didn't mean to humble brag there.
I've got
Or just
all
brag.
the cameras.
I got
But-
every camera.
But yeah, if you use higher frame rates, it's worth the upgrade. If you don't,
The cost is going to be tough. I mean, if you're searching for the absolute most quality in your image, the image on this camera is better than the S5 IIX. It's better.
wait, do we have spots available in our How to Be a Shill Tuber course?
Oh,
I'm currently taking it right
Yeah.
now. So
So this
there's
is-
only one spot.
that's the spot.
But after I'm done, yeah, I mean, sure,
So there you go. So you have to fight Jericho to the death.
you'll win.
I have the A7 IV, and cool.
That's awesome. Sell both and buy this.
You could.
Is a bit underrated. Any thoughts? Nope. No thoughts.
I don't use
I don't know
it.
which way to go, Sony or Lumix. Sony has way more lens options. Lumix has way more in-camera options.
I'll give you a sneak peek. I'm selling my Sony,
Ooh.
and I'm working on a video.
You guys heard it. Go and cancel him.
Yeah, I am.
Which photographer do you consider to be best in the world? I think Peter Lindbergh, who passed away. Did you think I was going to say?
Yeah.
Did I get you?
No.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
My mom with her iPhone 12. She's
Yeah.
pretty good.
I would say the most passionate ones. If you enjoy what you do, even if you are dog shit at photography,
I think Instagram has made a lot of people really
Dog shit?
good. No,
Oh.
I think
Good.
actually the
Ooh,
opposite.
okay.
Well, just
Oh.
what I mean is like there's also a lot of really bad photographers out there.
Yeah.
But what it's done is it's like I feel like only a select few could ever be good photographers in the past, but because everyone can post now to Instagram, it's kind of evened out the playing field.
Yeah.
So there's some really great photographers on Instagram.
I would say the best photographers are the ones that aren't on Instagram in terms of engagement, because those tend to be the guys who or girls who are inspired by things off of Instagram. So their work tends to be more original. The people who live and breathe on Instagram and find their inspo from other people posting on Instagram are the people where it's like, I've seen that. That's boring. There's nothing unique to it.
Sure.
So that's one thing I'm always talking about. Get the fuck off Instagram. Go get some photography books. Go do research on classic
Drew Photo.
photographers.
Best photographer.
Oh, he's probably not in this chat.
No, he's not, but he's really good.
I have met people on set that like they'll give me their Instagram because that's how they communicate with people, and I look at it and they've got like a few thousand followers, maybe like 1,000 or 2,000, and then I look at their work and I'm like, you're better than 98% of the people I have ever seen on Instagram or worked with, and I'm just staring at their work like gobsmacked, and they don't give a shit because they're out there working, and there's tons of people like that. And then there's tons of people like what Connor said that are on Instagram doing insane stuff. I don't know. There's just so many amazing photographers. And I think like what Cam said, it's good to not look at all of them because that's a little overwhelming and you don't want to compare yourself, I think.
Yeah. Or do you compare yourself? Or do you compare yourself and realize you're garbage and do better?
Yeah, don't like that.
Let's see what we got here. Is Sam here?
Oh, Sam.
Brody, I wish I saw all that hate in that chat because I would have popped off and had some fun. I didn't see it though. I was too busy rambling on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guys. Kofi's the only person that got paid by
True.
LUMIX to go on that trip.
The only real shill.
That's
was
why he
Kofi.
made 40-minute long video because he got paid
Per minute.
$1,000 per minute.
Yeah, 44 grand. It's pretty good.
Also, I want to say, don't get the shill thing. Also, I want to say, I don't get the shill thing. Good creators get stoked on good gear, and bad gear is disappointing real quick. People need to get off. Yeah, personally, if gear is a piece of shit, I don't have the energy, I don't have the willpower, I don't have the time to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm talking about something on my channel, it's because I'm fucking excited about it and I want to talk about it. So I think a big misconception is, again, I started before mirrorless cameras were a thing. So to me, yeah.
Wow.
Anytime a new camera comes out, to me, I always just look at possibilities. I don't look at just the negatives. If there's any negatives, I'm like, well, I'm not going to use the camera for that. But what does it do that will help me be creative and get a new idea out and done? I think that's the big difference with me, where a lot of people get confused on why I usually talk positively about gear.
For example, the 907X doesn't have a viewfinder.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people could say it's like, that's a huge limiting factor. It's garbage, you know, rolling shutter's bad. It's like we all hyper focus in on one specific issue, which, you know, if you want to call it an issue, that's fine. But then there's a different camera for you. I don't understand that one either. It's like, okay, 907X doesn't have a viewfinder, get the X2D.
Jericho's just destroying stuff as usual. Guys, it's not even an inside joke, but Jericho has broken so much of my stuff.
This is not true.
He's broken car windows, gears. Oh, look at that. The mic's way over here. He's broken so many.
Name one thing.
Oh, look how good that lighting
light.
is now. Yeah, that light.
That light right now, live.
Car windows, scrims, expensive
I
scrims.
did not break that car window.
Kofi, thanks for all the in-depth effort on the newest video. Great work.
Yeah.
Fun opener too. Yeah, guys, Kofi kills it. He's on a different level of detail.
If you wanted the most in-depth video, I think Kofi wins.
Yeah, if you want the least in-depth video, watch mine.
Cam might have won, but it's still a good video.
Were those were LUMIX lenses? They're probably made by Sigma for all we know.
This is LUMIX. LUMIX made these, as far as I know.
Can's favorite boots, Ariats. All I wear is Ariats because I can take those on jobs. You don't even have to really break them in. They're incredibly comfortable. Let's see.
What about my favorite boots?
Sedona's doing great. Guys, little insider tidbit. Connor loves walking around barefoot all around the house, puts them on the coffee table. He tries to put them in my mouth sometimes. I'm like, bro, like, yeah.
You didn't have to share that live.
Sedona, you're
Could've just
blocking
kept
our
that.
light.
What's wrong with being barefoot? Barefoot's great.
Guys, Sedona loves Jericho, so she keeps trying to get next to him for pets. Our chat keeps like scrolling back up. Guys, keep the questions.
People are asking about the hats. Where do I get the hat?
Oh, soon.
What hat?
I keep saying soon,
Yeah.
but soon.
I had to move in with him to get one.
Yeah.
So try that, I guess.
Let's see. I think the chat's getting mixed up.
Okay.
You find DR when DRE is turned off. I thought it was more than fine. It's pretty much Pixis. Yeah, the dynamic range seems
good.
totally fine. Even on my tests, it's like if you like overexposing, you're going to get more details in the shadows. But in daylight, it's like you don't need that much details. But if you are shooting a really high dynamic range shot, say you're shooting the sunset, which we tested this. I didn't include it in my video, but
Pretty sure I deleted that file accidentally, but I did shoot it.
so if you turn on, say again, beautiful sunset, the sun's peeking past the horizon, without dynamic range dynamic range expansion mode turned off,
Okay.
you might lose details of the sun. With it turned on, you'll get a little bit more details of the sun. That's pretty much it. So it's not like a game-changing thing, but it is a unique thing that can come in clutch.
It's a stop.
Yeah. For solo productions, mainly interviews, corporate. Oh, we already answered that one.
We did get kicked back up.
I can pull up questions.
Yeah.
What's the biggest downside for running the S1R II?
The biggest downside is... What is the biggest downside?
I
don't know.
think the biggest downside is we didn't get paid to go on that trip.
Yeah.
And in reality, I didn't even want to go on the trip, to be honest. I'm grateful I got to go, but
Norway was all time, guys. I will just be 100% upfront with you. That was a exhausting trip.
yeah.
It was. We were in the air traveling to and from Norway
Longer
than
we were in Norway.
Than we were in Norway, and so much so that in order to get more tests, Zach Mayfield and I stayed up the entire night one night to film out in the streets so that we could actually get more test footage because we literally just didn't have time.
Yeah.
So
we lost so much sleep on that whole 4 or 5 days of travel and 2 days of not even trying to film, just like trying to catch up and figure out the camera. That I was pretty sure I was gonna get sick. I'm surprised I didn't get sick.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess though, if you really want to look at it from the worst thing, it's probably the rolling shutter, I guess. But it's really not so bad. You could say that it doesn't do 422 in open gate, but not many cameras are doing open gate anyways. So it's kind of hard to say that that's a problem either. I had it overheat once, but it was a unique situation.
Yeah, in a weird way.
It was hot, so I think it was 80 plus degrees. We were out in the sun. It was in my car. I left it on, but it went into standby mode. So I think the fans turned off in standby mode because they weren't cooking. So when I woke it up, the fans like ignited. So it did overheat. I don't know. I really think like so far maybe the autofocus.
Yeah, and I think it would be an interesting thing if camera companies did these press trips or whatever, but then let us have the camera for a month. But maybe in between that, the camera gets released, but no videos are allowed to be posted for at least a month. So we can actually, because again, guys, we become beta testers on these trips because it says sample underneath all these cameras. They're pre-released systems. So a lot of the times, the more people they bring out, the more bugs we find. And again, that's technology. Like that's why we constantly have upgrades or updates on our laptops and blah, 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 because there's always bugs being found nonstop. It's technology. So this is the issue when I review pre-release gear, I don't even like talking about any of that because they tend to fix it. And I communicate with the company. If they say it's going to be fixed and it gets fixed before the release, I'm glad I didn't even spend time talking about it because that was pointless because no one's ever going to be able to experience that because it's fixed. So the issue is if they don't fix it, then yeah, we should be talking about it. But usually they fixed it.
For example, with the S9, it had a 15-minute record limit. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh yeah, we all bitched and complained about that.
Yeah, but now it's fixed, so all that information in that video is essentially pointless because we're all talking about it, but now it's not an issue. So it's kind of a goofy thing because essentially, yeah, we're beta testers. It's part of the job, I guess, the job that we don't get paid for, but we got to go to Norway.
Capture Project 1 said, battery life is garbage, especially used in open gate. Have you used the camera?
Battery life is garbage. I shoot almost exclusively in open gate and it's been fine.
Yeah.
I think I use like a battery or two in a day of shooting.
So Capture Project 1, question for you. Have you used the camera or are you just repeating a person's video?
Rent the camera.
Genuine
I keep saying
question.
that. Everyone who's had a negative opinion, that's been my answer. Rent the camera, try it. If I read the specs on paper, I probably would have been like, yeah, it's kind of whatever. It's just like my S5 IIX, but try the camera. It's different.
Jericho is the dog whisperer. I think sometimes when he'll come over and help out and watch if we're like gone for the day and he's like booked out but close to home. And every time though, it's like my jar of peanut butter disappears. So watching the Coke is pure entertainment.
What was that?
Cam has such grandpa jokes. It's crazy.
He's getting close.
The DJI is able to push a lot more power to their sensor. But they also have 2 readout modes. So I don't know what their readout modes are, but definitely in their dynamic range expansion mode, I definitely do think it's 16-bit being possibly compressed down to 12 or 14, or Lumix isn't getting up to 16-bit. Not that I'm aware of. Maybe in ProRes RAW, but in the standard modes, it's not 16. So there's still, just because it's the same sensor, they could have done certain tweaks to it. So just because it's the same sensor doesn't mean, it's gonna be exactly the same.
Yeah. There's a lot of things because people talk about a camera on paper, a camera in feel. The camera in feel is not us being like
filled.
I feel the spirit of this camera. No, there's just a lot of stuff that does not translate. Yeah, that's what Cam does. But there's a lot of stuff that just does not translate to paper. Like Cam said, the DJI can push more power to the sensor. Do you guys know what that means? No, not really. Like none of us like exactly know what it means. But the sensor handles differently. There's different processors. There's a bunch of stuff that just doesn't translate as like a marketing thing.
Yeah.
And you just have to feel it out. And I feel like that's why it's so important to just like actually experience it and not just be doing the paper stuff or the charts.
Yeah, again, I think Gerald's videos are like anytime a new camera comes out or lens, I'm like, well, one of the first things I watch is Gerald's video because it's important for us to know all these finite details, but it's even more important to actually utilize those on set and to know, oh, I watched Gerald's video and I learned that, this mode might not be great, but let's test it out and test it out for yourself and the way you film and the projects you're on. Because for some people, it might not be an issue, and for others, it could be. So you guys can't just like worship our words, whether if you think they're sides or some bullshit like that. There's no sides. All this information is important. All of our perspectives are important and unique, just as the audience is. So, what were you gonna say?
I was just saying Armando's little note there is pretty good on the same note. He's saying the problem with numbers on paper is it doesn't translate to real world, which we were just talking about. It's like saying a car with 300 horsepower is slow when other factors play in like weight, aero, and blah, blah, blah. So basically it's saying it's like, it doesn't paint a whole picture. It's important to know. It's almost like knowing the basics of a language and then being able to speak it fluently, right? So it's like but it's still important to know that. So that's what rent the camera. Rent it. Try it. Really try it. It's great.
Yep. Let's see. Still got a good amount of questions. We're going to start blowing through these to speed this up because we've been on almost for an hour already.
Wow. All right. That's long.
Yep. Goes by quick, huh?
It does, yeah.
That drops bit depth, doesn't oversample. I have no idea. It's on the way.
That's
Pumped.
awesome.
We all equally love the ZF here.
Cam has all those super expensive cameras. He still uses the ZF sometimes. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. I still love it. It's especially with the 40 millimeter on it. That thing is a gem.
I love the 40.
I will say my Leica Q343 has stole its thunder because it's the lens on that thing.
Adapt the lens.
It's beautiful because there's quality. No, this is one of the best design lenses ever. There's character to it, but it's APO. It's incredibly sharp. It's just a really fun.
It's not that great.
Oh, fired.
How long will it take for global shutter to take over the entire industry? It's expensive.
A couple of years.
Until it gets cheaper.
There's also other trade-offs, right? Like dynamic range and stuff? Or...
Yeah, I think DR takes a hit. But again, tech will get better, tech will get cheaper. So eventually, global shutter will probably take over. I don't know.
You guys have to realize, too, I talked about this on Brandon Washington's live. If you keep demanding those type of sensors, you'll get them, but you'll also get double the price tag. So keep demanding it if you want it and you can afford it. Use the 40mm Blaze Kato on the S1R II. Have we?
I don't think so.
I may have, actually.
We've been using the 1.5s a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. There's your answer. Japan, what's up, buddy? We love Japan.
Ooh, yes. I'm trying to figure out how I can get back there this year.
You send your camera. It's fantastic video features. Yeah, I mean, I would argue that this is a great video camera, though. Again, there's no crop anymore. That's a huge win. And it's downsample from the 8K, which might be another reason the color fidelity on this camera is so amazing.
I think it's calling it a photo camera is kind of funny because it's a hybrid. So it's really both. Like the Leica is a photo camera. The ZF, I would say, is a photo camera. It's a hybrid, so it does both. And the video specs in this thing, like, what's a different camera that you would rather use right now in a similar world to this? Currently, for me, nothing. Yeah,
like the Nikon Z8's incredible. That can do 60 FPS, full frame, downsample 8K, in Nikon RAW. That's incredible. No open gate, no false color. They did just put shutter angle, which is sick. But in comparison to, it's like this has had shutter angle. All their Lumix cameras have. Now we have the false color. We have waveforms, anamorphic IBIS, all the full anamorphic support. Nobody else has all that. Sony tried to do a half-ass anamorphic support and it's dog shit. They put 1.3 and 2x, no other options on there. The autofocus gets turned off. Like I don't even think it goes through HDMI either, which this one doesn't do, which is incredibly annoying.
I find it incredibly strange with how much love the Lumix has gotten recently since the S5 II, that these other camera companies aren't just updating their cameras and just tossing it in there, like just give us the run of it. I think it's very weird that they're not doing that. And Lumix is doing a great job of carving their own path by just like, hey, like this is what you all been asking for, here it is.
Yeah, the A7R V, I loved that camera. I mainly used it for commercial work. But now that I'm slowing down and taking jobs, granted, I'm starting to take more now. I don't know why I'm doing that to myself. For hybrid stuff, when that first came out, all of us were like, oh, this is like the best hybrid coming out now. Now in comparison, like, because
And it really was.
yeah, at that time. The A7R V, though, a lot of it was pixel bend. The frame rates were all pixel bend, so you did lose soft. I personally don't care about it too much. But they still don't have all the cinema tools. There's no shutter angle, none of that. Like everything that we're bitching and complaining about with other companies, Lumix is giving us all that. But people are still like, oh, the rolling shutter, blah, blah, blah.
I had a weird comment where someone was mad that we all like Lumix now. And he was like, I've been a fan of Lumix and it's so lame that everyone likes Lumix now. And I was like, are you giving me the I liked it before it was cool comment? I'm like, shouldn't you like that Lumix is doing it?
Yeah.
We live in a weird world.
Yeah, really weird world. Yeah, we're trying.
People like to have a unique take.
And yet we're here trying. Purple Nerd, you're stupid. We're not trying to justify anything. We're literally just talking about what we like the camera. If you don't like that, tell us why you don't like it.
Yeah, give us a legitimate reason, and then also I would
use your brain.
well,
use your words.
I'll say it nicer. Try the camera. And then tell me if you still don't like it. And it's fine if you don't. There was another guy I was talking to in the comments, and he was like, these are the reasons why. And he gave me reasons.
Which is great.
He's like, this is the reasons why I wouldn't care for the S1R II. And I read his comment. I said, honestly, it sounds like you need the FX3. And he was like, yeah, the FX3 would be great. I'm like, okay, perfect. So
yeah,
it's like,
that's fine.
Different tool for it. I had a buddy of mine in Germany, and he was asking me what camera to get. He was like, should I get the Lumix S5 IIX? And I was like, honestly, for what you do, I'd get the FX3. So, I mean, you know, it just depends on what you're doing.
Yeah. Guys, this isn't the last camera we're ever going to talk about. Like, this isn't the only brand we're ever going to talk about. Like,
I don't know, maybe.
It depends who pays me the most.
Yeah.
So, if the R5 II gets open gate, so my issue with Canon is I don't trust them at all. I don't think they're looking out for us. What's crazy is like Canon was top dog and they took it for granted and they stopped providing for us and they were just coasting. Dare we say Sony might be on that same approach now?
They're in danger.
So, you know, if the next Sony cameras that come out don't have any innovations and they're purely just simple updates like they did with the A1 II.
But also they're not just, I mean, because like they did give us some innovation with global shutter, but then the price tag is so high.
Yeah.
Because you have to have, I mean, you know, it has to be accessible. If you know, that's again another huge benefit to these cameras is like with the S5 IIX being so affordable.
Yeah. I will give Canon props though for finally putting C-Log 2 in some of their cameras.
Yeah, so the R5 II and the C80, I did a video on the C80. I really like the C80. Same reason as Cam, right now Canon doesn't have my trust, but if you're in the Canon system and you love Canon, the R5 II and the C80 look great.
I will never forgive them for like not letting up.
Just pure anger.
Yeah, no, honestly, I get mad. But no, it's like they only have proprietary lenses. Like you can't have third party on their full frame.
Deal.
I think that's unforgivable.
I think it's finally getting fixed, but the fact that they did that was pretty...
Yeah, I think it rubbed a lot of us the wrong way.
Yeah.
So it's like, why am I going to invest any of my money into a system where I'm like, they might not support this in the future, or you know, it's limiting. And so to me, it's more about a moral ground of like, I don't want to invest or give any of my money to a company like that.
And you don't have to agree with us.
Yeah, no, you have to, or otherwise
there's there's a split right here.
Dustin, buddy. Guys, if you want to learn more about LUMIX or you're getting into a LUMIX system, Dustin has a full-on, I guess not a workshop, what's it called? A course on LUMIX everything. So he is a real LUMIX shill, but he has all the information if you want to check it out. So I maybe click on his face on the chat. I don't know if that's possible. My thoughts on the LUMIX S1R II. There's no such thing as a perfect camera. Some people need to focus more on being better creators and worry about the specs, camera costs. Facts, bro. Again, the only time you should be thinking if you need to upgrade is if your current camera is causing you any sorts of issues on set. So again, the reason I left Canon into Sony is because I was sick and tired of being stuck with C-Log 2 or C-Log 3. And then seeing all these lenses come out where I was like, that lens would be great for this job. That would make my life way easier. That's why I switched over to Sony. And then as I started to try out other cameras from there, when I'm very hard-headed, so someone could be like, oh, you should check out this camera. I'm like, I'm good. I'm chilling. But then once I get the camera in hand, I'm like, oh, holy shit, I was sleeping on this camera. Same thing that happened with LUMIX, same thing that happened with Leica, like full force.
One thing I would say is, and this is something we don't articulate in our videos because it just doesn't make sense to articulate this every time, but there's a time to upgrade with your stuff, right? So every time a camera comes out is not the time to upgrade. And we're not always talking to you. If you own the S5 IIX specifically and you're like, this just came out, should I get it? The answer is maybe no. And again, unless there's something very specific that's bothering you. But if you own the original S5, it's like, well, it might be time. It's almost like an iPhone. You shouldn't probably get an iPhone, although I do. But you shouldn't probably get an iPhone every single year. You don't. There's not enough difference. Yeah. I only do it to make videos if I'm being 100% honest. But every 3 years, there might be something. I'm still using an M1 Max. It's probably time for me now to upgrade. I didn't get the M2 or the M3. But we're making these videos for the person that is on the S5 or whatever.
Also, guys, we just got our first dislike. Shout out to you, homie. Make sure you leave lots of hate comments. Boost that engagement up.
It's pretty fun getting dislikes.
To counteract, though, did you see the donation? There
was we missed two.
Donation.
Oh, shoot.
Oh,
sorry.
Shoot.
Chris Sharp.
Add to broadcast. Oh, you didn't even put a message in, bro.
Just giving money, man.
Well, thank you.
Say something in the chat so we can chit-chat with you.
Dustin, okay. For shilling me. Guys, Dustin's the greatest dude out there. He's a beautiful man, too.
This is on
beautiful
Cam's channel.
Beard.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, he's a beautiful man. His
Whatever,
course, dude, he is so intelligent. He's an intellectual. Dustin, feel free just to go straight to my Venmo if you want.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we lost the...
We are behind.
We're way behind.
Hey, I love all these comments. Oh, what's Lee saying?
Oh, what's up, Lee?
Oh, just chills.
Ban. So cut coming through for us here. Blaring bias showing by only talking about rolling shutter. Don't get the camera. These guys are better filmmakers than you. Don't mind it. I don't want to say we're better filmmakers than anybody, but yeah, it's funny because people will call us biased about something, but we're just simply repeating specs and just sharing our perspectives and our experience with it. But then you got people coming in saying, oh, you're biased. I'm like, what are you? You do realize humans are naturally biased.
I will say that if you think you're completely unbiased, you're wrong.
Yeah.
So
unless you're me, I'm completely unbiased.
I'll speak for myself. Obviously, there's going to be some bias because I have enjoyed these LUMIX cameras lately. So when I come into talking and looking at this camera, I'm coming at it from the perspective of I already like LUMIX. So I'm going to look at it in that perspective. There's just no way to get around that. And right now with Canon, I haven't been as impressed. So when I looked at the C80, I was coming at it from that perspective, although I was pleasantly surprised with the C80. There's going to be bias. Always watch multiple videos, and then at the end of the day, if you're gonna spend your money, I really recommend renting it before you buy it. If you can swing it, I think that it's important if you're gonna drop a couple grand to just spend maybe a couple, like $100 something to rent it for a day, give it a look over, and then make your choice.
Personally, what I was doing back in the day when I was doing YouTube videos, I was buying them damn cameras, and I would rarely return them. And a lot of people were like, bro, you can rent cameras. I'm like, it doesn't feel the same though. Like, like I don't use the camera the same. If I own it, I will throw it around. If I don't own it, I'm like, I don't know. That's
that
a
is another
personal
perspective.
issue.
I mean, you could always, if you have the money and you want to buy it, and then if you don't like it, you could probably sell it and not lose too much money in the in the used market. So that's another way to do it.
Thomas gave 5 gifted subs or memberships.
Oh.
I just want to get that out there.
Wait, you can do gifted subs on
Oh,
YouTube?
dude,
Yeah.
thank you.
That's awesome.
And then he said he's got to head out. So.
I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
Peace, brother.
For my memberships, I did open up memberships. I have not talked about it yet, so he kind of just gave it away. But I am planning on doing membership content that's going to be very more real and raw. So I did like a lighting setup for a video, and I did a POV setup, and I showed you guys the whole breakdown. So at some point, Jericho hates editing for me.
Yeah.
But he might start editing for me.
Yeah.
So depending when I
Everybody
fully
wants an
launch
editor.
memberships, I will, we'll see if Jericho wants to do it. But maybe I'll put him in charge of memberships, and whatever money comes in from there, you can, I don't know, we'll see.
That sounds great.
You're like, yes.
I will then like editing.
Oh, we got
Yeah.
2 dislikes.
Ooh,
shut
thank
up.
you.
Yo,
You guys have-
Haters.
so sick.
You have no idea how much this feeds him.
Oh, yes.
Talking to Cam about drama is crazy.
Yeah. So with my ADHD, we have a thing called justice sensitivity. And
There we go.
I get a kick. I get high off it, guys. So if you say some stupid shit, I will get a high correcting you.
This is fun. I mean, we might go for 2 hours at this rate.
Uh-oh.
Oh, great. Here we go.
Some guy named Evan Sanchez.
Oh.
I've never heard of him. He said he's not invited to
Oh.
anything.
Evan, you live far away, dude.
Hey, dude, if you had my number saved on your phone,
Ooh.
maybe you would see the text.
Ooh, he didn't text you, but you would have saw if he did.
Yeah, that's true. No, Evan, we love you.
We do. Come hang out.
We really
Yeah.
do.
Come hang out after you get a lift, though, so you can hang.
His truck's cool.
Yeah.
His new truck's cool.
Don't we shoot movies in 8K? Yeah, I don't like 8K at all.
So here's the thing. I won't say too much about it, but I work with a guy who makes way more money than all of us combined, and he shoots everything, not everything, a lot of things in standard and 1080 on a Canon camera.
Wait, who does that?
I'm not saying. And he makes so much money because he knows who his audience is. So he's serving his audience who probably they can't tell the difference.
Livestream off. I got
And,
Yeah,
uh,
who's this? Who's this psycho?
And I'm telling you guys, like he does shoot in C-Log and stuff as well. You know, he shoots for the right environment. But I shoot with him, and I am telling you guys, I shoot a lot in standard. It's crazy.
People forget that, like,
1080.
There's one of the most awarded cameras. I forget which Alexa it is, but it only shoots in 2.5K.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't matter the resolution genuinely that much. It's just kind of like
It's
the
useful.
quality overall.
It's useful for things.
Personally, I think we need 16K, guys. I think that's what will make us all better filmmakers. I think that's what's going to make all of our footage way better. 16K. I think that's what we need.
That's what Blackmagic's doing.
Yeah.
Just more Ks.
Stepping it
Yeah.
up.
Brandon, we got to hang out at NAB, buddy.
Oh, Brandon, remind me to text you after this, or text me.
Yeah, remind him to text you.
Or just text
Leave
me.
a comment on Cam's channel.
Yeah, there you go.
reminding Cam to remind Connor.
Yeah.
There you
Text
go. That's the way.
It's important. Okay, it's not that important.
I honestly like that people are finding reasons not to use this camera. Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep using it, though.
This is, I will say it. So my S9 has been my mainstay YouTube camera. This is going to, which is not, I'm sure people are like, who cares? But this is going to be my new, like, all the time backpack camera.
Oh, here's a cool question. I'm going to read that. I'll keep reading.
Based on the S1R II, what sensor specs do you want to see in the S1H II? Dude, honestly, I have no idea what, like, we were talking about, like, okay, they're going to release more cameras maybe, so what's next? And I'm pretty happy with this.
Yeah, I think the only thing that everybody's talking about is the rolling shutter.
Yeah.
I mean, if they, sped that up, cool.
Four-
Other than that, like,
422 and a open gate,
yeah,
I guess.
I really don't know what else. Like,
Maybe they could do, instead of an 8K sensor, they could just make it 6K flat, and then that would help with maybe the readout. I'm not really sure. And then lower the megapixels a little bit, I guess. Personally, I'm pretty stoked on this camera.
same. Yeah, I don't. Maybe internal RAW, like internal B-roll.
Instead of
that's
ProRes
possible.
RAW?
Yeah, I hate ProRes RAW.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really.
I think it's crazy that people are already like, what's next?
What's next?
This camera just came out, guys. I don't know.
Yeah. This is like,
This is a pretty cool camera.
yeah, again, this versus the Z8, I have a hard time choosing between both of them now.
We have something coming up, and he was asking, he's like, which one do we bring? And it's like,
It came down to the lenses, really.
it's going to be lenses. And in all fairness, actually, that's the weakest part of this camera is the lenses. The first-party lenses, they're good.
Same with Nikon, too, though.
Is that the case with Nikon? I'm
Yeah.
not big on Nikon, so I like the ZF, but that's
Yeah,
about
there's
it.
still...
I love a lot of the Nikon lenses. I mean, there's definitely a look to them. They're a lot sharper and cleaner, but some of the cheaper ones have some character that I like.
Yeah.
These are the only Lumix lenses that I really actually like, the 1.8 primes. Their zoom lenses, I feel like, need to be updated. Obviously, we can use really great Sigma lenses. Sigma has a...
I'm a huge Sigma fan.
What is that Sigma lens? Something to 45?
Oh, 28 to 45.
That's a great lens.
Mr. Zach Mayfield showing with it. I was insanely
Yeah.
impressed. It's basically the full frame 18 to 35 1.8.
Yeah, it's a fabulous lens, so that would be a good one. But in terms of first party lenses, Lumix could probably step that up.
Yeah, for sure. We need some like fast zooms. You know, we have all these fast zooms coming out, like the F2 24 to 70s. Lumix needs one of those.
Yeah.
I think that would be really big for them.
What if they did something parfocal for their
Sure.
cinema stuff? That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I feel it's like autofocus. We don't need parfocal
Oh,
as
yes.
much.
Mm, yeah, that's true.
Dustin said, I'm doing a corporate gig next week by myself. Deliverables are candid photo. So video, 2 cameras are bringing G87S. Oh, yeah.
Cool.
The G87, I'm incredibly impressed with the RE log on that. When we did that production, I was test grading side by side the RE Alexa. It was damn close. Some buffoon put the ND backwards though. We're using hot mirrors. And so some of the color saturation was off on them. So sorry for whoever the AC was or grip or whoever that did that on that set, but it messed up some of the saturation levels. And even with that though, I was incredibly impressed. I know there's some stupid people out there saying, oh, it's just a LUT. It's not just a LUT, guys. Like there's information I can't talk about, but that sensor's more impressive than you think it is. So 3 thumbs down. What's up, guys? Let's blast that thumbs up button and let's piss off these haters, guys.
I think I know who it was. They just commented blah 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 heads.
Can be.
I will take my slong out for you right now.
Wow.
What the hell?
I'm just gonna give them what they want. Either that or my feet. What do you guys want?
Let's start with feet.
This is why I scare my friends.
Yeah.
The OBGate recording appears slow. What's your take on it? All I've shot is OBGate and it's fine for me.
Yep.
Doesn't matter anymore. So the camera came out, I guess. Overheating OpenGate. I don't know. There's been weird overheating things that people have been getting here and there. I don't know. Obviously, we're out here in the desert. Here comes the donut again. Obviously, we're out here near the desert. It gets incredibly hot. So we'll find out about these weird...
We've actually had some hot days, and we're only shooting an open gate. I've never had it overheat in operation. It doesn't mean it won't. Again, I only had it when it was off in my car or standby mode. So that was the only issue.
Appreciate you, Kyle.
What else we got?
Oh, it's Luis.
What's up,
Isn't a
Luis?
problem anymore. That's the first thing I checked. So, guys, Luis was first AC on that shoot we did, and yeah, he's been on almost every single shoot of mine for like the past year or two. So, I call him up when I don't want to deal with all the technical stuff. Where I'm like, there's all this wireless shit. I don't want to deal with connecting this and figuring it out. Luis is the guy to figure all that stuff out for me. So if he says that, then I believe it.
Yeah, I trust him with the nerdy shit. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I just
He's
met
a
him,
big nerd.
but
He loves 3D
He
printing.
seems pretty smart.
The market for new camera. This camera isn't your first choice. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Let's see. I'll stick with the S1RII. Cool.
Oh, you're so behind, man.
Yeah, I know. Musical chairs over there in the clubhouse. Yeah.
Somebody said we were like in 90s.
Oh, why didn't you bring a freaking
What?
What?
chair from the table, the kitchen?
What's wrong with this?
I guess. Jaro is taller, so yeah, this is good for me.
Yeah.
There's a 6K 5.60 full frame. What?
is the 6K or in 60 frames per second, which there is no 60 frames in 6K. It's all to 30. But yes, 6K is full frame.
Here's an important question for Jericho.
What? Yeah, I already said, man. It's not happening.
When I cut mine, I'll let you know.
At least I'm taller. I don't know. At least I'm taller. That helps.
That does help. Ready to confirm the S1R II was coming. This interview. Oh, interesting.
Evan said he was the one that left the third dislike. So.
Oh, sweet.
Oh.
Thanks, bud.
Thanks, Evan.
You're no longer invited to anything ever again.
Your truck sucks too.
It's ugly. I hate the color.
Yeah.
Have you ever used it compare? Oh, what? Have you used it not to compare to
You
the
doing
CA?
okay?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
I've seen multiple people ask that. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We've not done a comparison to it directly.
Maybe in Wyoming
Yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah.
Actually, yeah, we'll talk about that after. That's a great idea.
So FX3 will whip this camera's butt in low light,
Oh yeah.
but you'll have more color fidelity on this camera.
So it depends on what you want.
FX3 for autofocus. Autofocus is really good on it, but I think this is getting close now.
FX3.
But to the AI chip Sony's, that thing is ahead of everybody. So like the A7C II, any of the newer Sony cameras with the AI autofocusing chip, that thing's next level. LUMIX is saying there's like new AI stuff in here. I'm assuming, again, I haven't done enough testing with the autofocus, but I'm assuming it's still not near Sony quality.
Actually, that's a really great point. I need to test out because it now has all the same AI stuff with like motorcycle, cars, airplanes, whatever. So I have not switched into any of those modes yet.
AI.
Yeah.
Do you think photography's dead? No way.
Photography's dead?
No way.
Not yet.
It's the most it has ever been. It's the most it has ever been. I don't know.
Yeah.
Photography is everywhere.
If you're referencing AI, I think the more AI becomes a thing, the more we're going to fight against it.
I'm not disappointed in it having rolling shutter. Every camera has rolling shutter except super expensive global shutter cameras. So if you want to spend over $6,000 for a camera to not be disappointed, then go ahead. But personally, I don't find an issue with it, at least so far. You know, there could be a shoot where I'm like, oh, rolling shutter destroyed this footage. I don't know. But you guys saw the shoot I did.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the blurred foreground is killing me. Do you guys know? Can you guys put your hand in front of your face? And then maybe put some glasses on.
Everything in focus.
Yeah, put your hand in front of your face. And then put something closer, like this, okay? And then tell me, is your finger blurred or not? Then after that, put it back down and smack yourself. Thank you. Let's see. Far wide open. Your video first person. The camera's clearly a no-brainer. Do we? What's our roles?
Yeah, expound.
Yeah.
Expound. He's our manager for sure.
I was going to say Jared's a drummer or bass player.
Ooh, that also works.
I used to
But he
play
also
bass.
manages.
Bass.
I used to
Yeah.
play bass.
He also manages.
Yeah, bass player and manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. I'll
Puts
manage
the
too.
other brands and us. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, you know, some of the latest Sony releases, it's like, well, they used to innovate a lot. I wonder if they're going to bring that back. So when there's competition like this is good for everybody, guys.
Yes. This is going to make Sony better. This is going to make Canon better. So if you're in those systems, you should be thanking Lumix.
So you guys can fight all you want over these silly little cameras that I don't cuddle with, but you might. Yeah. Vincent, Perry, bro, I fucking love your work. You're an incredible photographer. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see. Yep. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of red tech coming into Nikon stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Now they want to know your favorite boots.
Oh, thank you. If you're hiking, I use Merrell's, but those aren't exciting. So I also wear Jim Green African Ranger boots. They're pretty cool.
A lot of loving seeing the conversations in the chat. Loving this. We still
We
have
must be
120
really
viewers.
behind if we're talking about
This
boots
is
still.
incredibly far.
Why don't you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wait, hang on.
Okay,
We're
sorry.
trying here.
Sorry, this is his channel. We forget.
I have the actual chat pulled up.
Film at moment. We're using the Blaze Arcado 55mm on the Blackmagic Pixis. Let's see. Those channels have been saying real speeds. Small content creators. I follow a lot of people. I don't really know anybody's numbers. I feel like their work, I just follow them.
I feel like sometimes I feel like we're all still small content creators. So yes, I follow tons of them.
Yeah. Here's a blank message from Thomas.
Thanks, Thomas.
Love it.
Dude.
Love you.
Appreciate it.
I just like his neutral takes.
Yeah.
Thomas has never said anything
Yeah.
wrong.
I'm lactose intolerant. So if I have cheese, I will blow up.
Brown
Through the back end.
goat cheese on waffle. No, so I was looking up food to eat in Norway that was like, oh, what's like, I always like to try whatever's local. And everything looked disgusting.
Okay.
So if I'm being honest. But
Y'all think I'm controversial.
But listen, it doesn't mean I wouldn't have tried it if it was there. I did try some reindeer sausage.
Balls. Oh, sausage.
Which might have been reindeer balls.
Yeah,
And
I didn't care for it.
I did not like it. They did have some really good pastries and solid coffee.
You know what this reminds me of? Last night I had a dream. I had moose meat and I didn't like it.
That's awesome, dude. Dude, what a great transition.
Yeah.
This also happened when I did a trip to Denmark and the same kind of thing. I was like, oh, what's there to eat in Denmark? And I also didn't love the Denmark food, but that's my American palate coming through.
Appreciate you tuning in, buddy.
Tell me what Norwegian food I need to try because I'm going back.
Yeah, see, even Kofi saying the autofocus stuff got fixed within 24 hours after everybody brought it up, which is why I didn't bother putting it into a video.
Also, I think that's one of the more underrated things about LUMIX. They give significant patches frequently.
They told us they have a team of engineers in each department for different parts of the camera working around the clock on these releases to make sure everything's buttoned up and dialed in.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think they realize, and they're not the top dog like Sony or Canon, which I think is actually kind of awesome because it makes them try way harder than Sony or Canon.
I haven't experienced any sensor smearing at all.
No, I haven't either. But we need to test the camera more. It's barely been out, or not even out. We barely had it.
Oops. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Eric is always up in the comments on my videos,
Oh,
always
sick.
supporting.
What's up, Eric?
Thank you.
Hi, Eric.
So,
Cool beard.
again, we're streaming from the Blackmagic Pixis and the Blazer Kato 40mm. And
That's the biggest issue with this camera.
yes.
That just okay, so again, we're not shills. We'll tell you what's wrong.
Nothing.
Nothing. You don't have, what's it called? USB, what's it called?
Streaming.
Streaming, thank you. Yeah, you don't have USB streaming on this camera. There is a workaround. I don't know if it works on this camera. Let me find it. I gave that cable to you. Do you remember
I
where
think it's
it
on my
ended
desk, or I threw it back on your
I see it. It's right
workstation.
here. I do this with the S5 IIX. I have not tried it on this camera, if I'm being completely honest. Condor Blue makes a little USB-C to HDMI adapter. This is not going to be as good as it just working straight out of the camera, but if you want something that allows you to do that, this is my solution.
Yeah, there's still issues with Sony's USB-C streaming. If I'm wrong, please let me know because I would love to have fixes for this. But when you use the A7C II, I don't think there's a way to use any custom LUTs. And I still can't de-stretch through it either. So it's still not perfect. So personally, this is why I love the Pixis because I go through HDMI or SDI. I could de-stretch. I use my custom LUTs, all of that. The issue with this camera is even, again, if you did the same setup that I'm doing with the Pixis, it doesn't de-stretch through HDMI, which is another annoying issue. So,
Yeah, but we told LUMIX our gripes, and they hopefully will fix it.
yeah, gang, Big Cook, dude, we love you. Literally, you have some of the best videos. This guy was showing you.
Oh, that's the guy. Yeah, no, he's super cool.
So, bro, we love you. If you're going to NAB, let me know if you want to check out this camera. If you want to possibly borrow it, if I don't need to use it, welcome borrow it for the day to see what you think about it. So, guys, Big Cook was a big LUMIX guy, and he got the Nikon Z8, which is still an amazing camera. It's even better than this camera in a few ways. But this camera is better than that in a few ways. So, different tools.
Zach Mayfield donated another $10.
Zach
Mayfield.
He said, Shillionaire donation fund.
Zach Mayfield.
Shillionaire.
Zach,
That was for you, Zach.
you have to come out here, buddy.
Shilltacular.
Come film. Come film with us. Come hang out. We'll take you to the desert. We'll take you horseback riding. Or you can ride Connor. Lots of options.
I missed something, but I'm sure I hated it.
Yep. I think Connor can hold you.
Okay.
Zach, what's your weight?
I'm not answering.
Weight check.
About this.
Let's see. I haven't tried any Sigma lenses on it.
I haven't either. Go ask Zach Mayfield if he's still in the chat, or go to his channel and leave a comment because he uses Sigma lenses on it. And
Oh yeah, he was using a bunch of Sigma lenses.
Love
Yep.
Sigma.
Sigma lenses are pretty good.
Zach says, fine, I'll come film.
Yeah.
Good. Zach, I only want to meet you in other countries. Ever since we both moved away from Nashville, I've only seen them in abroad. So that's what I want to keep doing.
The Katos can work on any camera. You just need a PL adapter.
Yeah.
The R6 is trash.
The Canon R6 Mark I, way better.
Yeah.
R6 Mark II, I liked it at the time. Again, all the things that I said that limited it still annoyed me. That's why I switched to Sony, and now I'm going to use this over my Sony, so take it for what it's worth.
I think the thing I like about the most is this says Lumix up here, and the Canon says Canon. So you know it's kind of a big thing on there. Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
And when they do, we'll talk about it.
Thing of switching from Sony to Lumix is the lens selection for Lumix would mostly get some of the Sigma zooms.
Sigma zooms are great.
The Sigma lenses have been really good from everything I've seen. I haven't fully tested it though, so I can't give you. Again, go talk to Zach. Zach Mayfield has lots of insight on that.
Yeah, Zach, it looks like you may have to do a Sigma Lumix video.
Dude, honestly, best lenses for Lumix. You could make that video. I think
I'd
that would
watch that.
crush. Yeah.
I watched that. It is not. I don't know if it's in any camera, because they do have to license that.
What's EL zone? Am I dumb?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like a better or false color.
Oh, okay.
Well, I shouldn't say better. It's better for me in the terms of how I like to expose, but false color shows you different color zones for skin tones and stuff.
Yeah.
EL zone shows you different colors for every stop of exposure.
Oh.
Okay.
So I like it way more.
Interesting. I've never used that.
Yep. It's on the small HD monitor. Portkeys has their own version of it on
Got
that new monitor.
Okay.
So it's becoming more
Very
of a
cool.
thing.
I'll have to check that
I
out.
have to sneeze. Jared, go take this.
Bless you.
Mr. Camera Junkie, what's up?
It's mine now.
Let's see what else is going on.
Wait, Mr. Camera Junkie.
Okay.
Bro, Mr. Camera Junkie's for the community. He's always up in Brandon Washington's chat. Love you, dude. And your
Shout out.
your live setup is insane. It's beautiful.
You need to check it out.
Yep, he's cool. Yeah, guys, go check out Mr. Camera Junkie.
I want to say I use the R6 Mark II weekly, and that camera's annoying. It's fine. It's
So
just
you're
annoying.
asking why would we choose the FX3 over the S5 IIX? For sure, it's just going to be ISO performance, just low light.
And lens options.
Lens options, sure. Yeah. So those are the reasons. And if those are the most important to you, then FX3 is a better choice.
I'm just making. I think this year they have a pretty strong chance. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I'd love to see Lumix kind of break into the. I think they are technically in the top three, but be even more competitive in the top three. I think Sony and Canon, we talked about this, have gotten really complacent, so we need a shakeup.
Yeah, I definitely think there's yeah. Stay tuned. This one's for yours. I can't wait to upgrade. Yeah. C400 ratings.
I used it once. I didn't like it. It's a great camera, though, technically. I think that, I much preferred, if you're talking Canon, the C80 over the 400.
The thing I don't like about the C400 is on the top says Canon on it. So it's kind of it gets in the way a little bit. Yeah. But
remember, no, we're not biased here.
Yeah. You have to be kidding. Sony just sitting back. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I hope. Honestly, I hope they drop something crazy.
Well,
but honestly, I think cameras are getting incredibly boring because, what else are they going to give us? They're, the only thing they could do now that impressed me is that they do taxes. At this point, everybody needs to have freaking open gate and internal RAW. I think that's the new standard. That's going to come. Nikon's hitting half of that. Lumix is hitting half of that.
I think Nikon's doing it right with their, all the raw stuff. That's great. But really, with the ZF again, with this whole retro thing, I think this is going to be what we care about a lot. So Canon needs to make an AE1 and whatever that other Canon cameras that you like.
100%.
That would make us happy.
We got another super chat. Chris, I will get into it here in a second. We appreciate it. Okay, here's a hot take. The Sony A1 II literally didn't push anything forward, but look at what it is the sequel to. The A1 is tough act. Yeah, I tried the A1 II. It was great. It was another Sony camera.
I never touched it.
To me, the Sony cameras are uninspiring just as much as the body is as this camera. I'm now to a point where after like, over 15 years of doing photography, I'm bored with gear because it's all good. It can all do the job. But now I want a beautiful camera in hand, feeling visually, and I want beautiful colors to help motivate me. So, yeah, the Sonys are great. They're amazing, but a lot of things are great and amazing now. So, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
I think we're just all getting
We'll
extra
see.
picky now because we can, basically.
Yeah,
Consumer market.
I think Lee and I did a Rambler video on my channel where we're talking about bodies and how camera bodies are now becoming like the new film stock. So instead of, because you know, you can make a sensor look however you want, but now it's like what body fits you best. But now it's also coming down, you know, to the small features, like actual hybrid features that actually are useful, and open gate and internal raw.
I like
again.
that we're getting back to some feature specs.
Bro,
different.
facts. The A7R II has dog shit rolling shutter. You don't see everybody bitching about it though, as they are with this. So I think that's a win for Lumix though, if everybody's just bitching about the rolling shutter.
Yeah, and also I think the reason why is because we all focused with the A7R V on what made it good, because it was really good, and it still is actually really good. I don't know why we don't have the same energy towards this camera.
I think after the debacles that have been happening over the past year, I think a lot of creators are looking for things to talk negatively on just to gain some trust, which is fine, like whatever. But I think everybody in general are kind of looking for negative things because we are nitpicking now because camera gear is all good. So now I think a lot of people, instead of being, again, having the mindset of what does this camera solve for me? Does it solve anything? It doesn't. Okay, I don't need to watch any more videos. It doesn't matter. Instead, people are like, this is shit because it does this. My camera's better. It's like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Like, move on with your life. Generally, it costs less than an original. The realest LUMIX shill. Oh, that's the one doing most. Oops. Bro, I appreciate it. Now I feel like I'm forced to put some content up for members. So thank you for putting some pressure on me.
Do you know how the gifteds work in the chat? It's five of the more active people in the chat get membership.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
so it's not
sick.
random.
It
It's
assigned it to 5 people who are in the chat right now.
Sick.
awesome.
Scott got gifted.
very cool.
Mataj got gifted. Ebony got gifted. RF. Sick. Let's go. Dang, we're really behind. Okay. Probably. Let's see.
Oh, Chris Brockers gave $20.
We're trying to get to it. That's weird. Evan,
damn.
you're still invited.
That was like 20 minutes ago that we talked about that.
Yeah, we're pretty behind.
Sorry, guys. We're trying.
I'm trying to catch up right now.
We have, I guess, a lot of opinions.
No.
I'm just bothered by it.
It's kind of our job.
Yep. Be a good range camera. Is that for, you're talking about guns? I'm not sure. Armando, I know, has the camera and he shoots a lot. So maybe shoot him a DM on IG or something, because I'm not too sure how rolling shutter and stuff affects gun stuff.
Yeah, it's very specific.
Let's see. Yeah, same. Color fidelity is, dynamic range is almost evening out.
Someone
these days.
sell me their S9. No, I'm keeping my S9.
That's what I was
keeping them
saying
all, actually.
when this came out. I was like, I'm never using my S5 2X ever again at this point.
That might be true.
But
The S9.
I'm still going to use the crap out of my S9 because it's so small, so easy to use.
Perfect B camera to this.
Yes.
Perfect.
It's like you're saying the body.
Yeah.
Is the difference.
Yeah.
This is a good idea. Maybe I'll do this.
Blind test with all your cameras and see if us regular people, you guys are not regular people, can tell the difference. Honestly, once you
That's what you should do in your.
if you color grade it, with that, that might be a good idea. If you put a color grade on something and you're like, tell me which one is different, because once you color it, it's kind of like it all starts to look the same. I don't know if I could tell you the difference. It's more when you're working with it that you notice these differences.
Yeah. Footage quality S1R II versus Pixis. I don't know. And Gary, I'm also very curious on what's going to look like. I think the S1R II will be way more punchy, but I think the Pixis with its Blackmagic RAW is going to have a little bit more color, more color fidelity. I don't know. That's the hard part. Because in the Pixis, you have an older sensor, but a better Kodak. On here, you have a better sensor, but not a better Kodak. So
Both great.
I have not yet. That is on my to-do list today.
I have to update my Osmo Pocket too.
Yeah. S Pro lenses. Blah, blah, blah heads. Good job.
Roman.
Good
what's
job.
up, dude?
You got it.
That was pretty fun.
Roman
You
March.
got it.
What a strange name.
There's a LUMIX 24 to 60 f2 on the roadmap. Really?
That's crazy.
I didn't see that.
Source.
Yeah.
I need that.
Can
LUMIX.
send link.
LUMIX. LUMIX is the best brand out there, guys. This is the greatest camera ever made. There is no rolling shutter, guys. It is non-existent.
I've never seen a shutter roll once.
Yep. Nope. No shutters have taken off or it's crazy, guys.
Yeah.
So
Locked in.
anyways, I would love to check out the 24 to 60 f2 LUMIX.
Be great. Can we make it an 18?
Yeah. Yeah.
We got 4 dislikes now. I love that.
Do you hire other people for your channel? And what aspects?
No.
Jericho's made a lot of money off of me.
Yes.
Sometimes. Very rarely. It's hard to give it up sometimes.
Yeah. Here's how a friend lost close to 20K selling his face while switching to Hassie. All it is. Yep, that's just the name of the game sometimes.
It's an expensive job/hobby
Yeah.
for sure.
Jericho.
I did. I just thought it was bad.
I know you did it. You loved it. If you got it. If you were just clowning on you.
Thank you, Evan.
Jeez. Are we that behind?
Yeah, you're pretty far.
We can talk about that.
New Mexico.
Or we can talk about the fact that he has a really cool mustache.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
We love New Mexico.
I could never.
Viewing the footage, it does exhibit similar in camera sharp.
As in, I don't think I'd ever...
You
Yeah,
can't
anyways.
shave.
I'm afraid of what my chin looks like. I haven't seen it in 10 years.
Shave.
Congrats on the views, brother.
Oh, hell yeah.
Keep going.
Let's go.
Some tricks I've learned, at least on my channel, longer videos do better. And that's pretty much it.
I
That's
learned
all
on my
know.
channel the title and thumbnail really matter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and it hurts my soul that it matters that
Yeah.
much.
I never really used S5IIX for photos. I've done it before, but I enjoyed using the S9 more for photos.
Weirdly.
Yep.
Doesn't make any sense.
Because it has electronic shutter, which isn't as good for
No
stills
viewfinder.
and- Yep.
Yep, it doesn't make any sense. I completely agree with that take, though.
Yep.
Get a Nikon ZF.
No, they fixed that, but I think some people are having it created a different issue that wasn't like an issue, but a thing that they didn't like. But you can turn it off. So on the LUMIX, when you would like autofocus, it would shift the exposure preview.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't do that anymore. See, you didn't even notice.
Yeah, I guess I just...
Yes, this is the House of Shills.
Yeah.
This is.
What's up, Chris? I liked your fake gun. That was really
Oh, yeah.
cool. That was a good post. You got to be careful in Canada with that.
You guys are still shooting the S1R II. I saw mine to some guy behind Planet Fitness. Was it a really scrawny, short, skinny guy named Terry Warfield?
Oh, jeez. I did not know where you were going with that.
Oh, Sean's up in the house.
What's up, Sean?
Get a good price at least. Uh-oh, someone's caught.
Careful.
Just some pizza slices. Yeah, it was definitely Terry. Definitely Terry. Do we get to keep... I think so.
So
They're like long-term loaners.
this is what I was told. It's not yours,
My butt's hurting.
so it's not mine. It's not his. They're not going to ask for them back, but they said if you ever don't want it, you can't sell it, you have to return it. So that's the deal we have. So when people are like, "Can you sell me your S5 IIX?" The answer is no.
Yeah, so that's
I
why this
cannot.
is the greatest camera ever made. 0 issues. This is better than anything else. This is better than RE Alexa, guys.
Yeah.
You guys heard on the Brandon Washington live, he said Red was better than RE and Nikon was better than Red. I'm saying this is better than Nikon. And that's why I get to keep this camera, because I just said that. That's how this works, guys.
Yeah.
Exactly. No wonder I'm hated.
Yeah.
Exactly. Egg exactly. Put a tariff on that egg exactly.
Oof.
Confirm. Oh, see, there we go.
Most Norwegian food looks brown. The meatballs are brown gravy.
Yep.
The reindeer meat is brown sausage, and the list goes on and on. Again, I just looked at pictures, so I was like, wow, that does not look appetizing. But I would love to be proved wrong. I love good food.
Man, we're so behind. Well, like capabilities. We did it a little bit. We shot at 6400 of me blasting the Bronco through some mud.
Oh, yeah,
And it looked pretty good. And it was, here's the thing. It's like, if there's no actual physical light in real life and you're shooting low light, like the Sony FX3 with like an incredibly fast prime, that's one of the few, maybe one of the only cameras that can actually try to get you some exposure, but it doesn't hold the color in those ranges.
You're just going to have cleaner blacks.
So you'll
That's all
have
it is.
details, but you won't have color information.
Yeah.
So which still counts. So with this, I haven't tried it enough in low light, but I am curious myself. on that.
Zach and I shot at night with it, and when but we were using street lights and stuff, and it looked great.
Is the FX3 still like the main
Hey
one?
guys, is there any way to return my donation?
Connor will pay back.
Yeah,
With interest.
I'll pay you back for
Just,
Cam stream.
Charge back your credit card.
Yeah. Lumix tether doesn't work yet. I don't know. 185 naked. Oh,
Oh,
it's good to know.
good specific.
Yeah. I think he could get on you.
I'm not talking to you.
It's basically perfect. All right, okay, guys. Zach's in the chat. Zach he's a Sigma shill, and
Newly a LUMIX shill. That's the new thing for him.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting.
so it looks like he's saying it worked perfectly. So if it doesn't work perfectly, you guys know who to cancel. Yep, I'm excited to update my Z8. I have to send back my Z6 III soon, I think, to them, which I was loving that camera because it's raw 6K. But I do like my Z8 more. There is an issue in the down sampled 8K into 4K raw, the blacks clip. And until they fix that, I will not be using that camera more in more serious areas because I hate 8K.
Yeah.
So Nikon, please fix that. Again, this is the Blackmagic Pixis with the Kato, the Blazar Kato 55mm. Oh, that's cool. Sigma has EL zone. That's rad.
I've never used any Sigma cameras. That'd be interesting to look at.
Let's see. Wise fuller and low light. The FX3. Yeah, I don't know about all of that. But interesting thing is when I first, because I bought an S5 IIX like a couple of years ago, I think it was. And I remember I didn't take it serious for low light. And then one day I tried it in 4K or in the 4000 ISO next to a Sony FX3 in 12,000. And they were kind of close. And I was confused
Doesn't
on
make
why
any
the
sense.
4000 ISO would be close to the 12,800. And a handful of people educated me. I mean, they could be wrong. Who knows? But that the way that Lumix does their ISOs like on a linear or something,
Wait, so
blah,
it's
blah,
not
blah.
standard?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I have zero clue.
Sean,
So-
help if you're in the chat.
Yeah,
What is
Sean,
that? I don't know.
educate us.
Yeah.
It's not good. Rumor site saying, oh, that's crazy.
There we go.
Mr. Chris Brockhurst, we appreciate the super chat for the Canadian $20. So it's like 2 cents here.
Focus.
Yeah. Oh, bro, we're shilling hard in this house. We're not running out of any shill money
There's the focus.
anytime soon.
We've been out of
Oh,
focus.
my lap keeps shifting it.
Yeah. No, the shill money doesn't run dry, and when it does, I just steal cams.
Why does your live stream look like a movie? It's just the shill skills, I guess.
It's because we look like Hollywood people.
Oh,
We got
yeah.
Johnny.
That's
We got
what it
Johnny Depp,
Yep, Timu, Johnny
Matthew
Depp.
McConaughey,
Jason Statham.
Jason
Yeah.
Statham, and me. So that's pretty cool.
Connor is what celebrity is Connor? Connor is
Jared Leto.
No,
I don't know.
Sorry.
He had long hair. That's what I'm going with.
I'm thinking like Tom Cruise with a full beard.
Meryl Streep, maybe.
Oh yeah, that's closer.
Thank you.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Flattering.
No expectations. I have zero clue what Sony's doing.
A7 IV.
I mean, I would
They're
love.
making a new camera.
They make cameras all the time. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's cool.
Vocal lengths. Man, a lot of people are asking about the Kato 40, unless it's just one guy that keeps asking about it.
Maybe.
Jared and I have filmed on that thing, and I've filmed some review bits to it. I just haven't had time, guys, to get around to reviewing
Too many
it.
things.
Yeah, we're overwhelmed. We're spoiled. We get it, but it's overwhelming. FX9 also better on Sharon. Yeah, yep. This is what the space has come to. Just tech heads picking apart cameras.
Yeah, it's partially YouTubers' fault that that's a problem.
Yep.
Sorry, but
Let's see. Yep. Yeah, guys, get those likes up. Ooh, we got
actually they are
Mr.
up.
Camera Junkie. Bro's killing it. Got them likes up. The energy may stem. Let's see. The energy may stem before rolling shutter before it matters a lot. LUMIX users not sure. Care. Morpho. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think people are just excited to hate on things because they're lonely. Air lens first. Anamorphic lens simply will look best on Omega 8. Yeah. I mean, when you start cropping into an anamorphic, you think that was it?
You're done.
When you start cropping into anamorphic lenses, you start losing the edge characteristics, and that's a big part of the anamorphics. So if you want a cleaner look, the trick is to crop in to the lens. But if you want the true anamorphic look and you're going through the hassle of shooting anamorphic because of the look, then yeah, the more coverage you can get out of it, the
Doesn't
better.
really make sense to shoot anamorphic lenses and not want the look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just shoot spherical and put some black bars on it.
I'm just gonna keep saying circular because it's funny.
Yeah.
Really piss them off.
But they haven't known the suffering that is Fuji. Yeah, guys. So I got the XM5.
Wait, what's the question?
And Connor got to see it, and I was like, "Oh, why is everybody complaining about the autofocus? It's working great." Literally 2 seconds later, I was like, "Oh, yeah, this is kind of dog shit."
Yeah.
So
I wish Fuji's autofocus would be better.
yeah, I think they deserve to have better autofocus.
They're great cameras.
Whatever that exactly means. I feel like they deserve to have better autofocus. So. Oh, that's easy, bro. Come on. You already know what A-cam's going to be now. Do you prefer...
Oh, this is not for me.
I like all the plugins. The film emulations, they all kind of do different things. Some of them have better support for other cameras, while other ones don't. I use my own LUTs. So if it's for a YouTube video, I just use the LUTs I sell, literally the same exact LUTs. If it's a bigger project, I use the actual power grade that I created those LUTs, only because it gives me a little bit more power to manipulate the image. The LUTs pretty much do the same thing, though, honestly. Is the image quality compared to the S1R II? I don't know what they're talking about.
They're saying the S1R Mark I.
Oh.
So the previous gen.
My
No
bad.
idea, haven't used it, but I can say that this compared to other Lumix cameras that are more recent, this is better.
I'm getting hungry.
Me too.
I don't know, guys. I have zero clue. The whole lens thing, there's a lot of politics behind closed doors when it comes to L mount, E mount, Z mount, all the mounts. There's a lot of stuff. So honestly, I have zero clue if or when we will get L mount in the Apex. But obviously,
That would be so great.
LUMIX is making the best anamorphic supported cameras out there. So we need something, guys. We need something. I tried Filmbox. Filmbox was stunning. Really expensive. You could kind of get a similar look just using the traditional workflow in DaVinci and their own like film look creator. But Filmbox definitely makes it a little bit easier. What I want somebody to do, because I don't want to do it, I want somebody to test all the grain settings from Dehancer, Film Convert, DaVinci, Filmbox, and see which one translates to YouTube better.
Oh.
Someone please do that video. I will do my best to help pimp it out. Yes. Brady says also now part of the Beard Club.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, we love you, buddy. I hope your hand in your heart has been safe. Did you get that?
No.
No? Okay. I'll tell you after.
Okay.
Have fun skating, buddy.
Cheers, dude.
Thank you for tuning in. Guys, this is what's so amazing with lives. Like how we're all like-minded individuals here. And we get to hang out and just chit-chat. Not only about cameras, about everything. That's what these lives feel like.
Yeah.
Like just being able to talk to you guys. Like we're normal human beings. You guys are normal human beings. It's beautiful to be able to hang out with you guys and actually become homies with you guys. So literally, thank you guys all for tuning in. I'm kidding. We have more time. We have been on for almost 2 hours. Jesus.
Oh my god.
It's.
I'm trying to get through this and then we'll
the
pop
questions have been good, so
Yeah.
let's stick around. Oh, and after I need to get food.
off. Oh, off a topic. What not awful camera photography related tattoos? I kind of like this question. Jericho's
Off
thinking he's too
topic.
cool for it.
No, like it's really hard for me to get anything that's like a physical object tattooed unless it's like a perfectly classic camera that's like it's already in the past and it'll stay there. Because I just don't like when things change. Like if you get a logo tattooed and then the company changes the logo, that's
Yeah, or another company pays you more.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
my LUMIX
your best-
tattoo is already scheduled.
Yeah. I do have Blazar tattooed across my ass cheeks, though.
Can't
So
show that on YouTube.
When I open them up, I could change the stretch factor.
Stop. No.
I think it would be cool. Connor does. Sorry, guys. Connor does have a film camera from his grandpa. That'd be a cool tattoo.
That'd be a good tattoo.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Or nothing, because I'm clean.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Loser.
What kind of a camera op am I? Clean.
When will you restock your hats? I have to first get them in stock. So I have a local buddy doing all this stuff, and I need to do a pre-release when I have a moment. There's a million things I need to be doing right now. That's not this live, but
The hats are cool though. I wear it legitimately because it's
yeah, his is getting worn in.
I need a new one because look, it's getting, but it's a good hat.
If you didn't get them through a loan, would you buy it personally? The cameras? Oh, 1000%,
for
dude.
sure.
Like,
The loan made it easier.
yeah, definitely.
It's made it easier.
Here's the thing, guys. When it comes to all this bullshit on like, oh, you got free camera, this is sponsored, blah, blah, blah. Do you think, now for some of us, some people do this, but majority of us, we are not going to shill and lie about a camera to gain access to these companies because guess what? People are going to fuck around and find out. It's not worth chancing that. I have an annoying amount of honesty and pride and morality to the point where Connor's experienced it sometimes where I almost got in a fight like 2 weeks ago because I decided to be honest and I should have just freaking
Let it go.
let it go. But I was like, let me be honest about what just happened. Went in, told the people, and yeah, I was ready to freaking fight the dude. So that's me as a person. So there's nothing in me that's going to be like, oh, I should just lie about this because then I'll get another camera. Trust me, guys, I make enough money through commercial work alone to buy whatever I want. So it's funny because if people want to doubt me and think like, oh, I'm just doing this because I need to do it, blah, blah. No. Throughout my life, somehow I figured out to make money and to, afford all the things that I want in life. So when you guys see me buying things, that's me working my ass off to do that.
Yeah.
So I would easily go out and buy this camera with all that said. Would I have bought the S9? Yeah, 1000%. That camera, I may have had to try it before buying it. Because just how some of you guys were like, oh, I don't know about that. I would have been the same way.
I completely understand the immediate reaction to the S9 because when we were at the event and they were like, introducing the S9, blam, and then they were going through the specs, all of us in the audience were basically like, what is this?
Yeah.
What are we even supposed
No
to do with this?
viewfinder, no flash port.
Yeah,
what the fuck are they doing?
We were all immediately like, what are we, this is not going to be good. But then in actual practice, that's when we learned, it's like, oh, we get it now. We actually understand it. I think, yes, I would totally buy this camera. I would have bought the S9 if I would got the chance to use it first, and the S5 IIX I also would have bought. I love the blacked out design. I'm excited for the blacked out version of this, Sean. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Well, I just kept the tape on mine.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're almost done.
Let's go.
As people are just dipping out. That's why.
Johnny Depp, Steve Buscemi, and Ben Affleck.
Who's?
Am
Oh,
I
you're
Steve Buscemi?
Oh,
Wait,
that's messed up.
I'm Ben Affleck?
Are you Batman?
I get
No.
I'm Batfleck.
I think Connor would be more of a Forrest Gump when he grew his hair and beard out.
Tom Hanks? All right.
That's pretty good.
Can you mimic him?
No.
You don't want to try?
No, I
Okay.
don't.
Not on camera?
Not on live. No. No. Appreciate it though.
Bro, I love this. Thank you so much. I will Venmo you. Yeah. We'll just leave that up for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
His LUTs look like film.
They look
Yes.
like
How
film.
much do every time I say that I
We
get
need
money?
that bag of money.
Yeah.
I don't know where it went.
His LUTs genuinely look good. They are hyper stylized though, so I don't always use them, but I have used them. They're great.
Yeah, they're very stylized, guys.
Yeah. They look great in a desert.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Surprising.
Okay, last question here.
Okay.
Is it worth buying S5 IIX or the S1R II for a first Lumix camera?
Great question.
If you're on a budget, S5 IIX. It's gonna be great.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Would I buy this camera or and like get a kit lens, or would I buy the S5 IIX and then have the extra money to buy better lenses? I.e., you could even probably afford to snag a Blazer or two. I think that is probably the better choice, especially for your first Lumix. Once you use anamorphic lenses on these cameras, that's what kind of extra unlocks them. That's my opinion.
Yeah, if you can get away with never using anamorphic so that you don't spoil yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
kind
problem.
of it's kind of depressing.
As soon as I use these lenses and then in tow with these Lumix cameras, I was like, oh snap, okay, this is a problem, because it's good.
That's the thing with the Blazar lenses. Again, I know people think I'm like partial owner or some shit like that.
Yeah, he's not partial; he owns it completely.
Yeah. They are the first affordable anamorphics that actually look like anamorphic. And the thing is with like true creatives and even some of the tech head guys, when they try it, they're like, oh,
That was my reaction.
Yeah, it's like you get it because when you try like the Laowa and the Surays, you're like, oh, that looks cool.
Yeah, it's like different.
Yeah, but then when you try these and you actually see all the character and the fact that they aren't perfect, all of a sudden your brain's like, oh, this is moving me. This is doing something to me right now. My pants are getting tight right now. So, sometimes you just, rub it out, get it out of your system, bust one out.
The way you talk is so crazy.
You know that feeling when you're like, maybe I don't love it after all. After that moment, with these Blazars, you will still love it.
So, on that note, I guess I think if you like perfect lenses, don't get those. But I've been shooting a lot with vintage glass because I really love vintage glass, and it gives obviously it's doing that and then some more. I like the character and the imperfections. I think it makes it better.
This is what we'll leave off with. My ex dated Casey Affleck, and I hate him.
Wait, what? Oh, Connor, I look like Kafey. I don't know.